We are so proud to present to Senator Grassley a Lifetime Congressional Achievement Award for all of his great work. And we have given that to your staff to take back to your office. And we like to now let the Senator address you about an issue that we know that he holds dearly in his heart. Senator Grassley.
For those of you that come to this meeting yearly, you know I'm invited to speak almost every year that you come, and I hope I'm able to fulfill that invitation. But for those of you who have been here before, you might not hear me say a lot of new things, but for other people that haven't heard me, I hope I can fill you in on some of the things going on in Washington. So I welcome all of you to Washington, D.C., and particularly my constituents from Iowa. It's always nice to see a room full of people that are passionate about the issues that they're involved in, and particularly dedicated. And I visit with enough people in my state of Iowa to know how dedicated they are, and I assume the same thing from everybody that's here. I do thank General Dean and the staff of the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America for making it possible for the meetings that you have here. Throughout my years in Congress, I've worked to keep drugs out of the communities. We've also seen the destructive impact that drugs can have on our communities and families. For years, we've heard tragic stories about the impact of drug abuse. These problems plague our society, and we must remain united in this struggle to end abuse and addiction. This is where we all fit in. In 1997, along with Senator Biden, I sponsored, and now the Vice President of the United States, sponsored legislation to create this program, Drug-Free Communities. I believe then, and I still believe now, that one of the most effective ways to prevent drug abuse is by supporting community anti-drug coalitions to identify, prevent, and eradicate the sources of abuse at the grassroots. Since the enactment of the Act, thousands of community anti-drug coalitions have received federal support to further their efforts to halt drug abuse. Many of the coalitions are represented here in the room. Your hard work and that of your colleagues at home proves that we can reverse negative drug abuse trends in our communities. Coalitions from across the country and my home state of Iowa are confronted with unique challenges, but they are leading their communities in finding ways to overcome them. I'll give you an example of the Van Buren County Safe Coalition implemented a comprehensive community-wide strategy to address growing marijuana problems in that community. They conducted town hall meetings to raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse, facilitated various community and youth education opportunities, and partnered with local schools to get the word out. As a result, Van Buren County Safe Coalition reduced marijuana use among 11th graders by 1/3 in the 5-year time span, according to the Iowa Youth Survey. Another county in my state has what they call the Kusuth Connections Coalition, which is headquartered in Algona, is also taking action to fight underage drinking and smoking within the community. According to the Iowa Youth Survey, current underage drinking and smoking, although still below the statewide average, has increased slightly between 2008 and 2010. As a result, the Kusuth Connections Coalition has partnered with local businesses that sell alcohol and tobacco to ensure compliance with laws requiring age restrictions on selling these products. Youth from the county have surveyed area stores, inspected advertisements and product placements, and helped to determine whether or not the stores display the We ID sticker at the counter. These youth are committed to ensuring local stores are in compliance with the law and are actively working to reduce underage drinking and smoking. These coalitions are a small sampling, but they represent the incredible effort that many of you are putting into controlling and reducing drug abuse. Now is not the time to abandon our efforts in regard to drug prevention efforts. Unfortunately, recent trends indicate youth drug use nationally is on the rise, and new synthetic drugs like K2 and Spice are gaining popularity. In fact, the latest Monitoring the Future survey indicates that 1 in 9 high school seniors use synthetic drugs like K2 or Spice in the past year, and these are deadly products, as you know. This is the first year this survey tests students on the synthetic drug use. The high number of users in such a short time illustrates how rapidly drug use can spread among certain populations and communities, particularly if there's a belief that since it's sold legally across the counter, that it is not anything to worry about. It's discouraging to see these surveys and to read about more tragedies on a daily basis. As I'm sure many of you are all too aware, these negative trends will continue if we don't aggressively address them. This is where you all come in and where you're way ahead of a lot of other people in this country. It's vital that the communities you survey are made aware of abuse trends and the new drugs coming in on the horizon. The actions that you all can take to stem the growing tide of rising drug abuse, like synthetic drug abuse, can and will have made a real difference. By holding town hall meetings, launching school programs, confronting local businesses that market or sell inappropriate products, that you're making a real positive difference. I know that there are many other coalitions in Iowa and nationally that are working to engage their communities to confront local drug abuse trends. Whether it's a synthetic drug outbreak or a meth epidemic or an increase in underage drinking, community anti-drug coalitions will lead the way to unite their communities against drug abuse. It is vital in these tough times that these coalitions continue to receive support from the communities and from our own federal government. So as ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and with my work on the Drug Caucus, I will continue to work to ensure that programs like the Drug-Free Communities Program remain strong. I will work, as you would expect me to reauthorize the Drug-Free Communities Grant Program. I will also continue to seek legislation that will bring tough penalties to those who target our kids with drugs and to keep drugs off our streets. It's important to remember that the real difference in people's lives is made by the people in this room and others like you who are not in the room right now because you can't all make a trip to Washington, because you all constitute the front line in the war against drug abuse and addiction. Although your efforts are directly tied to a wide range of results, we must remain vigilant and not relent in our efforts to eradicate drug abuse. Drug abuse flourishes when the problem is ignored. And right now, part of that ignoring comes from the fact that there's mixed messages on some drugs in America of why these numbers have gone up. And it's partly the fault of the federal government that we allow these mixed messages. If we're going to make a better future for our children and community, we must face this menace together. A special thanks to all of you for all the hard work you do. Thank you very much.